Europe is amazing.
Welcome! It's another Tuesday Backstory. Thanks for joining me. This week we're going to talk about what happened to me prior to moving to England, some of the cool connections I made, and some of the cool gigs I had. So, here we go. Looking forward to it.
So I picked up a gig with a guy named Rodney Hayden, and that was a fun gig. He was actually, his manager was Robert Earl Keen. And what's super cool about that is at the time, Robert was one of the biggest Texas country artists in the area. So we got to play a lot of shows with Robert, got to do a lot of other cool, fun openers where we opened for different bands. And we even actually got to go over to Europe to do a little short 2-week tour where we played France and Italy. That was incredible. That was my first experience in Europe, and Europe is amazing. I love that so much. You know, we didn't make a lot of money, but it wasn't cheap to get us over there, and all that was paid for. Our food and our rooms, an airline and all that was paid for. So from Rodney, I went to play with a guy named Kyle Park. A lot of you probably know who Kyle Park is if you're from Texas, but if you're not, you may or may not have heard of him. He's a large Texas country artist right now. But at the time, he was just getting started. And his manager was a guy named John Michael Whitby. And John Michael Whitby plays piano for the band Asleep at the Wheel. So we got to do a lot of openers for Asleep at the Wheel. In fact, John Michael Whitby also plays piano with Mr. George Strait sometimes. So he's got some good connections and we got some good gigs. So I also picked up a gig with Granger Smith. And a lot of people probably know Granger because he's now a national artist. But at the time, again, he was just getting started, and that was a fun gig for me. At the time I was playing with Kyle, my daughter's mother and I were still going through the whole paperwork thing, and she was trying to go after my income from music, and at the time it was just a hobby. It was something I did for fun, and although I made money at it, I rarely actually really made money at it. Usually I just broke even or lost money. Well, I got scared because I didn't know what to do. And I wound up telling Kyle I've got to call it off. You know, I've got to step down. I'm going through some personal stuff right now. And so that was the end of my stint with Kyle.
So there you go. There's some more of my stories for you. It just goes to show that you never know what's going to pan out and what's not. Had I made different, better decisions back then, my life would be a lot different now. But I can't necessarily say it would be better. That one particular aspect, yes, because I would love to be playing nationally, or at least regionally. But there's a lot of things in my life now that I do not want to give up. Life is too short to live with regret. So learn from my mistakes, move forward, and know everything's going to happen for a reason. Love you guys. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. Jeremy Drummer, out!